What exactly makes a Siberian Husky different from an Alaskan Malamute, when they look so much alike at first glance? Hi, welcome back to Paw and Order. My name is Carl, and I am gonna teach you how to tell these two amazing snow dogs apart using simple steps. Many people get confused because both breeds have thick coats, beautiful markings, and a strong wolf-like look that catches everyone's eye. However, once you learn what to look for, you will see that they are actually very different in their size, their history, their personality, and how they behave at home. In this video, we are going to break down major differences in clear, easy to understand ways so you can become a total expert. We will look at their bodies, their fur, their eyes, and even the unique sounds they make when they want to talk to you. Whether you are thinking about adopting one or just love learning about dogs, this guide will make everything perfectly clear for you. Let us jump right into the first and most obvious thing you will notice when you stand these two dogs next to each other. To start our simple steps, the most visible difference between these two breeds is their overall physical size and heavy weight. The Siberian Husky is a medium-sized dog, built for speed and endurance over very long distances. A typical male husky weighs between 45 and 60 pounds, which makes them quite light and agile on their feet. On the other hand, the Alaskan Malamute is a massive, heavy-duty dog built for pure strength and pulling giant loads. A male Malamute easily weighs between 80 and 85 pounds, and some can grow even larger than that. When you see them side by side, the Malamute looks like a giant, broad-shouldered weightlifter, while the Husky looks like a slim, athletic marathon runner. This size difference affects everything from how much food they eat, to how much space they need in your house or car. If you want a dog you can easily lift in an emergency, the Husky is much closer to that size, while the Malamute is a true heavy giant. Our next step focuses on the original jobs these dogs were bred to do, which explains why their bodies look so different. Siberian Huskies were developed by the Chukchi people in eastern Siberia, because they needed a dog that could travel fast across miles of ice. These dogs worked in large teams to pull light sleds quickly, so the people could hunt and move around their frozen home. Because they ran for hours without stopping, their bodies evolved to be highly efficient with energy, meaning they do not get tired easily. The Alaskan Malamute has a completely different history, because they were bred by the Malamute tribe in Upper Alaska for heavy freighting. Instead of running fast, these dogs needed to pull incredibly heavy sleds filled with food, supplies, and hunting gear across rough terrain. They often worked in smaller groups or even alone to move things that human beings could never push by themselves. Understanding this history helps us see why the Husky values speed, while the Malamute values raw power. Another easy way to tell them apart is by looking closely at the shape and set of their ears on top of their heads. Siberian Huskies have ears that are medium in size, shaped like sharp triangles, and sits very high up on their heads. Their ears point straight up into the air and are located close together, giving the Husky an alert, intense look. If you look at an Alaskan Malamute, you will see that their ears are actually quite different in shape and placement. A Malamute has smaller ears compared to the large size of its head, and the tips are rounded rather than sharp. Furthermore, their ears sit much lower down on the side of the skull and point slightly outward, instead of straight up. This low placement gives the Malamute a friendly, soft, and almost happy expression that looks like a big teddy bear. Just by checking if the ears are high and sharp or low and rounded, you can instantly know which dog you are watching. Let us look at their eyes now, because this is a huge point of confusion for many dog lovers around the world. Have you ever seen a snow dog with piercing, bright blue eyes and wondered what breed it was? If a dog has blue eyes, or even one blue eye and one brown eye, it is almost certainly a Siberian Husky. Huskies are famous for this trait, though they can also have dark brown, amber, or half-colored eyes in their litters. Alaskan Malamutes, according to their strict breed rules, can only have dark brown eyes, and blue eyes are actually considered a major fault. A Malamute with brown eyes has a very soft, warm, and gentle gaze that reflects their sweet nature with family. The Husky's blue eyes can look very striking, wild, and intense, which sometimes scares people who do not know how friendly they are. So, if you see those ice blue eyes staring back at you, you can confidently tell your friends that you are looking at a husky. The shape and style of their tails offer another simple clue that you can spot from a far distance away. When a Siberian husky is relaxed or standing still, its tail usually hangs straight down toward the ground like a brush. When they are excited or moving around, they might carry it in a gentle curve over their back, but it never tightly curls. The husky tail is often called a fox brush, because it is evenly furry all around and has a low, natural hang. The Alaskan Malamute carries its tail in a completely different way, that makes them look very proud and powerful. Their tail is covered in long, waving fur and is carried high over their back like a beautiful, plumed feather. It curls gently upward, and when they are happy, it looks like a waving flag resting on their lower back. This gives the Malamute a very regal look, while the husky's tail keeps a low profile unless the dog is actively working or running. Now we need to talk about the coat textures, and how these two dogs handle the freezing cold weather. Both breeds possess a double coat, which means they have a soft undercoat for warmth, and a rough outer coat for protection. However, the husky's coat is smooth, lies relatively flat against the body, and feels a bit softer to the touch. Their fur is medium in length and is designed to keep them dry and warm, without weighing them down while running fast. The Alaskan Malamute has a much longer, thicker, and coarser coat that stands away from its massive body. Their undercoat is incredibly dense and greasy to keep moisture out, while the outer hair can grow up to several inches long. When you pet a Malamute, it feels like a thick, heavy wool blanket, and the fur around their neck forms a huge mane. This thick coat makes the Malamute look even bigger than they actually are, transforming them into a fluffy cloud of fur. The shape of their heads and faces creates a distinct expression for each dog, that a professional pet lover would call their signature look. A Siberian Husky has a finely chiseled head that is narrow and tapers down into a sharp, medium-length muzzle. Their face looks sleek, focused, and aerodynamic, matching their quick feet and athletic build as they zoom across the yard. The Alaskan Malamute has a massive, broad head with a wide muzzle that stays thick from the base all the way to the nose. Their jaw is incredibly powerful, and their cheeks are prominent, giving them a very round and heavy facial structure. Because their face is so wide, their eyes sit a bit further apart than the eyes of a husky do. This gives the Malamute a very open, smiling, and cheerful face, while the husky often looks like they are deep in thought. Looking at the width of the snout is a fast step to identifying them correctly every single time. Let us talk about their energy levels, and how much exercise these dogs need to stay happy in a normal home. Siberian Huskies are high-energy machines that love to run, jump, and play for hours, without showing any signs of getting tired. They have a bouncy, restless energy and need a lot of daily cardio exercise, to prevent them from becoming bored and destructive. If you do not give a husky a job or a long run, they might escape your yard or chew up your favorite couch. Alaskan Malamutes also need a lot of exercise, but their energy is much more grounded, steady, and calm. They prefer long, slow walks, hiking up steep hills, or carrying weighted backpacks, rather than sprinting around at top speed. A Malamute is often happy to chill out on the floor, after a good workout, while a husky might still want to play. This makes the Malamute a bit easier to manage inside the house, provided they get their daily strength walks outside. Their vocalizations and how they talk to their human families is another area, where these two dogs show unique traits. Huskies are world famous for being extremely talkative, dramatic, and loud when they want attention or feel excited about something. They do not bark much, but they make funny whining sounds, sirens, and long, dramatic howls that sound like human sentences. If a husky is unhappy or wants food, they will literally argue with you using hilarious, loud vocal complaints. Alaskan Malamutes are generally much quieter dogs, who prefer to keep their thoughts to themselves unless they have a good reason. When they do decide to speak, they make a deep, rumbling sound from their chest that owners call the woo-woo sound. It is a soft, melodic howl that sounds like a friendly conversation rather than a loud, piercing scream like the husky. The Malamute's voice matches their big size, while the husky's voice matches their high-strung, energetic personality. When it comes to training and their basic mindset, these two breeds offer different types of challenges for their owners. Siberian Huskies are incredibly intelligent, but they are also independent thinkers who get bored of repetitive tasks very quickly. They often ask themselves what they get out of a command, before they decide to obey your voice. You have to make training feel like a fun game with lots of treats to keep their focus on you. Alaskan Malamutes are also independent, but they possess a strong, stubborn streak that comes from their history of survival. They are dominant dogs who need a confident leader who sets clear, consistent rules every single day without failing. If a Malamute thinks they are the boss of the house, they will simply ignore your commands and do whatever they want. Training a Malamute takes a lot of patience, because they move slowly and will test your boundaries to see what they can get away with. Let us look at how they act around strangers, and people they have never met before in their lives. Siberian Huskies are incredibly social-friendly creatures, who view every single human being as their next best friend. They do not have a suspicious bone in their body, which means they make absolutely terrible watchdogs for your home. If a burglar breaks into your house, a husky will likely wag its tail and ask for belly rubs instead of barking. Alaskan Malamutes are also very friendly with people, but their large size and powerful presence make them a bit more intimidating. They are deeply loyal to their chosen pack, and can be slightly more protective of their home territory than a husky. While they are not aggressive guard dogs, a Malamute will stand its ground and look closely at a stranger before welcoming them in. Their loyalty is intense, and they form a very deep, emotional bond with their primary family members over time. Their behavior around other animals, especially small pets like cats, is an important step for any family to consider. Siberian Huskies have an incredibly high prey drive, which means their natural instinct is to chase anything that runs fast. This instinct is so strong that it can be very dangerous to keep a husky in the same house with cats or rabbits. Even with training, that sudden movement can trigger their hunting mind, before they even realize what they are doing. Alaskan Malamutes also have a strong prey drive, but it can manifest a bit differently due to their history. In the old days, they had to find their own food in the winter, so they are natural hunters through and through. However, because they are calmer, they can sometimes be trained to tolerate indoor cats, if they grow up with them from puppyhood. Still, both breeds require a lot of supervision around smaller creatures, because of their wild, northern ancestry. Finally, let us look at their overall grooming needs, and how much fur they drop around your living room. Both of these northern breeds shed a lot of hair, but the sheer volume of fur matches their structural size. A husky will shed its undercoat twice a year in a process called blowing the coat, which creates mountains of fluffy hair. During this time, you need to brush them daily, but during the rest of the year, their grooming is fairly manageable. The Alaskan Malamute is a continuous shedding machine, because their coat is so long, thick, and dense. You will find big clumps of woolly hair under your furniture, on your clothes, and even in your food every day. Brushing a Malamute takes a lot of physical strength and time, because you have to work through layers of thick, heavy fur. If you hate dog hair, neither breed is right for you, but the Malamute definitely takes the prize for the most fur. In conclusion, telling a husky from a Malamute is easy, when you remember these simple steps we shared in this video. Look for the husky's lighter body, high-set sharp ears, frequent blue eyes, and low-hanging brush tail that moves with speed. Compare that to the Malamute's giant frame, low-set rounded ears, dark brown eyes, and high, curling plumed tail built for power. Huskies will fill your home with funny, dramatic howls and high-speed energy, while Malamutes offer a deep, woo-woo sound and a calm presence. Both dogs are beautiful, intelligent, and loyal companions, but they serve different lifestyles depending on what you want. Thank you for watching Paw and Order, and now you have the professional knowledge to spot these breeds anywhere.